Right, I'm here. Will you shut up, you stupid truck? Jesus. Right, I'm hearing now that Assistant Chief Constable Malik is on a final written warning. He hasn't resigned. So I don't know how accurate that is. Clearly my first source was not. Sorry. I'm trying to phone. This could be a very another short video. But what I'm going to quickly do is trying to phone the CPS.
Welcome to the Crown Prosecution
But they don't like answering their phone.
Please choose one of the following options. If your call is in relation to a magistrate's court matter, please press 1. If your call is related... Good afternoon, CPS.
Oh, hello, mate. I'm just phoning up to I've sent you several letters, none of which you've chosen to answer. So I'm just trying to phone up and find out why you're trying to unlawfully take me to court.
Right, okay. Can I take your name, please?
Yes, it's Paul Dakers.
That was a Bakers, D-A-K-E-R-S?
Yes, D-A-K-E-R-S. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, okay, love it. When you say taken to court, in which area would this be? With Norfolk, Suffolk, Cambridgeshire?
It's Cambridgeshire.
Cambridgeshire, okay. Have you been given a court date yet?
Well, at the moment it stands at 9th of November, but the whole thing is a fraud anyway, because for your course of conduct of harassment, I was never actually formally arrested or charged last year, and what happened was the Chief Constable put his name on the summons and then just added an arrest number in illegally, so I was unlawfully convicted and fined. And the fact of the matter is, well, there's other stuff too. PC Harmon phoned me up and said I refused to attend a voluntary interview. I did not. I've asked for that tape recording 3 times from the police and not received it.
Okay.
And the bailiff in question in the case, Chris Green, goes round saying he's going to arrest people for non-payment of council tax under the Domestic Violence Act. So in fact, your key witness breaks the law every day.
Right. Would you mind just confirming your date of birth, please?
Yes, it's 4th of July 1972.
Thank you, yeah. Right, okay, I found I've got the record in question.
Also, you like to keep on putting charges on and taking them off and changing them and then arresting me without a warrant and stuff. Basically, everything the police have done basically since last August when all this started has been unlawful at the end of the day. So this case certainly does not stand.
Right, okay, what is it, hang on, I'll just have a look. I mean, what is it you want me to address today? You want me to address the correspondence that you've sent us, or?
Well, I've sent you at least 3 letters, all of which you've chosen to. Do you still have the place in Huntingdon? In I forget the name of it now. Spitfire Close, is it?
No, we don't have an office in Cambridgeshire anymore, I'm afraid. No, there's Norfolk, Suffolk, or Essex.
Well, I just wonder where the 3 letters I've gone and sent you then, because they haven't come back to me.
Okay, hang on. I've got one here in front of me that was sent on the...
Yes, I did.
On the 4th of September.
I did send at least one to Norfolk, Norwich.
Yeah. Okay, bear with me just a moment, hang on.
So that just leaves 3 missing that I've sent to Huntingdon that haven't been returned to me.
Hang on, there's another one back in June as well. And none of these have been responded to?
I have not had one word from the CPS. I've not had full disclosure of evidence. So, like I say, I've asked for the tape recording of the phone call between myself and PC Harmon 3 times, twice from the police and once from the CPS. I have not received that, which will categorically prove that PC Harmon is a liar and therefore an unreliable witness. I've had nothing except the witness statements of the people involved, and I think because it's been changed about a couple of times that the police assault charge has now been dropped off the list anyway. But I really, considering you change everything round at every single court hearing, I don't have a clue what's going on.
Right, okay. Did you receive the letter? Because I can see the caseworker sent you a letter on the 30th of August. Did you receive that one?
I've received 2 documents purporting to summons me to court, which they do not, because they've just been posted to me and delivered anonymously by Royal Mail. I've not been handed them in person.
Right, but you know who they're from. I mean,
I know from the CPS. Oh, the other thing was the woman who works for the police, who apparently allegedly summons me to court, failed to actually sign her court statement stating she had done so. So that's also inadmissible in court and therefore cannot be classed as evidence. So I've never actually legally been summoned in the first place.
Right, okay. What is it you actually want me to address today? I mean, shall I take forward... So you're waiting for a piece of evidence that you believe should be disclosable to yourself?
I'm representing myself, although apparently you're not allowed to do that in court anymore. But I'm waiting for full disclosure. I've had nothing except witness statements, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Okay. When you say full disclosure, what is it you believe that we have that hasn't been given?
Well, for a start, you have the phone call between myself and PC Harmon where she lied. And I've asked for that from the police on the SAR recording machine. I've written to the police and I've written to the CPS and asked for that, and it's never turned up.
Right, okay. And has anybody ever responded to that point, or said it's not available for whatever reason, or?
No, they've just refused to answer, because this is what they do. They refuse to answer any questions or letters or emails, and they just carry on regardless. And if you don't turn up in court, then they send their thug copper mates round en masse to arrest you. Because I've had it, mate, 3 times over 3 weeks. 10 coppers came round my house in 2 weeks on the basis that I'd refused to attend a voluntary interview, which I had not. And when I was later dragged out to my house, i.e. kidnapped, and questioned down at the station, towards the end of the interview, I was apparently refusing to answer questions I didn't have to answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, no one can force someone to speak. Yeah, no, I mean...
but it was very clearly stated that I was refusing to answer these questions.
Well, I mean, it's a bit... I mean, because obviously if the police officers are asking questions and there's no comment, or, someone's being evasive, then it would appear that, wouldn't it? It would appear like a refusal, wouldn't it?
No, you can't refuse to answer a voluntary question. You can decide not to answer the question. It's not a refusal because you don't have to answer the question.
So, if we go back to moving, I mean, in terms of this phone call, so there's a phone call between yourself and PC Harmon, did you say?
PC Harmon, yeah.
PC Harmon, right, okay. And that was in regards to a phone call, do you know what day that was?
That was, I think, roughly around the 6th of January, I think.
Okay. And you believe that was recorded, do you?
She said she's got it as evidence in her statement. It's evidence number. Evidence number, whatever it is. So that's in her court statement. And she said I refused to attend, which I did not. So she has lied. So your key police witness is a liar. Much as your key bailiff witness is a liar, because he goes around threatening to arrest people under the Domestic Violence Act, when in fact he's actually got no powers of arrest whatsoever under council tax law.
I mean, I don't know about what the council...
No, the person has to comply, and the person has to comply and go with them. This is why they turn up and stick their foot in your door, so you can't shut the door on them. And that's also criminal trespass, which I've also reported Richard Gilbert of Marston's bailiffs for, but of course nothing was done.
So it's a phone call on the 6th of January. I mean, is that the remaining piece of disclosure that you're expecting, or is there other things that you believe should be in existence?
Well, no, as far as I'm aware, because I asked for the recorded interview on the desk, and I got that straight away almost.
Oh, you got that? Okay.
I've got that. So obviously now I need this phone call because it needs to be produced in court to prove that PC Harmon is a lying carrot.
Right. Okay. All right. So it's a point. Okay. Of that. But, all right. Well, I mean, I'll take that point forward.
Good. I mean, do please bear in mind here, you're condoning criminal behaviour on a massive, massive scale. And I have reported all these people to the police, and they have done nothing. Yeah, I mean, you're condoning theft, basically, mate, and threatening behaviour and thuggery. It's an absolute disgrace.
Well, there's a lot of cases that come through, so I'm not completely familiar with this one in particular. But if the police have investigated an incident and they asked us a matter which we deem to be in the public interest, and we suspect an outcome against somebody, then we take that. I mean, we work with the police. We don't work for them, so we've obviously looked at the file as an independent body.
Well, you need to listen. You need to listen to the phone call, mate, because PC Harman clearly lies in her court statement, and that is the whole case thrown out of court. And why you were trying to take the case forward and you haven't listened to that phone call, I have no idea.
Okay, well, I'll make a point of that and take that forward. So if there is something behind that, then that'll be looked into. Okay.
Good. About time, really.
Yeah. Okay.
It'd be nice to actually get a response from anyone, to be honest.
You should be able to get through to the local office for Cambridge is generally the Essex office. That's I don't know if you've got their contact details at all. Have you? Or
but the CPS in Cambridge.
CPS for Essex, they generally deal with the Cambridge matters.
I'd forgotten all about them, to be honest. I think there is some of them in the courtroom, or something.
No, that's all right. Anyway, you're through to it anyway. I mean, that's fine. I'll take this forward. It's fine. And in terms of, the court themselves, they are the neutral body as well. If there is anything untoward, or we need to prove a case.
I'll correct you there, actually, mate, because you're not allowed to make any complaint to the court at all, I've been told. By a judge.
You can appeal against certain decisions made by the court.
No, you can't. No, I've been told by a judge, mate, you're not allowed to write to the court or complain to the court. You're not allowed to tell anyone about the case online or anything like that. I've been told that by Judge Enright.
Not meant to talk about an ongoing matter. No. But in terms of the point I'm trying to make is that the upcoming trial in November, the court of the neutral place. We need to prove a case beyond a certain level, and the court, if they suspect anything untoward, then they acquit somebody.
Well, yeah, but the last time I went to court, which was Crown Court, I was told to stand in the dock and I wasn't allowed to give any evidence. So how is that neutral?
I don't know what the proceedings would have been on that point.
This was when the CPS decided to change the charges, because the police on the 24th of March initially arrested me with an offence which required a warrant to do so, but they had 10 weeks to get the warrant and it failed to do so because they had no evidence. So they then later changed the charges over in the courtroom, you see.
Right, okay. Sometimes the first hearing, the charges can be amended.
But you do understand also, I've not pled to either of the two charges standing against me now, because no charges were ever remitted to Crown. So nothing was therefore ever passed back to Magistrates Court, but that's something else they're pretending they've done. So I haven't actually pled to either of the charges on the charge sheet against me now, because I was never asked to plead to those the course of conduct of harassment, whatever else it is on there now. I was never asked to plead to those charges. So there's no case, mate, whichever way you look at it.
I'm surprised because there's a number of hearings that you've been to, isn't there? I'm surprised that they've never asked you.
Oh yeah, they spent a fortune trying to silence me. It got bounced up to Crown. No charges were remitted. I did not plead to any of the new charges. We came back again. I was yet again told to stand in the dock and not give any evidence. Yet again, no charges were remitted to Crown, and I was not asked to plead to any offences. And that, if you people recorded court cases, that would be all on public record. But unfortunately, I've now made an allegation of misconduct, which you have to investigate.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're, I mean, if you've never been given the opportunity, sufficient opportunity to enter a formal plea or say anything, when they've announced them in court, then I'll also I'll liaise with the court on that note as well.
Well, and I really think you should listen to that phone call, mate, because if PC Harmon is proved to be a liar, she needs to be arrested and charged with misconduct in a public office.
I'll make a note of that as well, and I'll take that point forward as well if there's a phone call in existence
Well, she says she's got it in evidence under KEH something or other, a certain evidence number, something like that. So.
And that's something you haven't seen or heard yet?
No, this is a recording. I've asked. It'll be an audio recording. I've asked for it at least 4 times from both the police and CPS, and nothing has been forthcoming.
All right, I'll take that forward as well then. Yeah, okay. And if you have a complaint about I don't know if anybody's said it yet at all, but if you do have a complaint about an officer's conduct, there's the Independent Police Complaints Commission.
No, I've tried them. They just lose all the evidence, and then they lose desk sergeants who handily retire. Desk sergeants who have made a mockery of a medical condition and tried to unlawfully keep me in the cells all weekend. IPCC are useless.
Well, I can't comment.
I'm just saying, mate. I know you can't comment, but I'm just saying they have blatantly lost cell footage when during the time I was unlawfully kept in the cells all weekend, and when a desk sergeant, like I say, who is handily in quotes retired, made a mockery of my dangerously fragile pre-operation hernia.
Okay.
So yeah, they're no. I can't make complaints, mate, because people just don't answer, and if they do, it's just all excuses and lies.
I don't know. Obviously that's a separate point to what we originally talking about. But I don't know if citizens advice can advise if the IPCC gives an unsatisfactory answer. I'm not sure if they can, give any further guidance on that. But anyway, I've made a note of what you said about this particular matter, and I'll look into that now. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much.
All right. No, you're welcome. All right. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Ta-da. Citizens' advice. Not to knock the bloke, but really, come on. You've seen this stuff on this channel. God, that felt good. Do you know, just when I was listing all that stuff there, I was thinking, fuck, they really have fucked this up, haven't they? Fantastic. They weren't answering the phone to them at all, and the Huntingdon number has gone dead. And as you just heard them say at the beginning, they don't have an office in Huntingdon now, even though there's still a website and everything for it. Gotta be honest, my bad, I'd forgotten. There are 2 or 3 of them in Cambridge, I think, who work out at the Magistrates' Court or something like that. I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, they just wouldn't answer the phone yesterday. I rang about 3 times and it just rang and rang and rang. Fantastic. Right, enjoy this one, guys.